Hi, Nisha Khanna, back again this week to talk to you about stress. Today you're going to learn one of my favorite ways to manage stress. So I picked this topic because it's just so prevalent in our communities. Stress and anxiety are kind of, I would say, about 90% of what I see in clinic. And um, it's also such an important topic because in Ayurveda, I would say stress and anxiety correlate to vata aggravation. And vata aggravation is the driver, in, according to our ancient Ayurvedic texts, of about 70% of disease. So you can find the origin of the disease as actually being rooted in stress and anxiety. So it really is an important topic to talk about. It relates to our prior discussions of the GI tract and GI tract health, not only because 70% of our serotonin or so, roughly about that much, is made in the gut, obviously affecting mental health, but in Ayurveda, every major channel of the body has a root, a pathway, and an opening. So Pranavahasrotas, or the pranic channel, is in a very understandable way related to respiratory function, and its tract is the bronchial tree, and its opening is in the nose. However, the interesting piece about the prana channel is that one of its roots is in the heart, and the other root is in the GI tract. So again, this concept links the importance of gut health with not only our respiratory system, but in Ayurveda, prana not only is respiratory function, but it is also emotional processing and our communication with the higher self and communication with others. So this key piece of prana being rooted in the GI tract correlates the gut function with both mental health and communication, as well as spirituality. So it's a really neat way of looking at gut and stress. So let's talk a bit more about stress and anxiety and its management. And I'll also talk about it in terms of its functional correlate. So in Ayurveda, Vata is vata aggravation is basically, it manifests in the mind and the body as stress, and one of the key vata organs in the body is the kidneys. So that might make sense to you if you've ever been anxious about something or really nervous. You may have the need to just urinate all the time. And I remember experiencing that myself when I was studying for the MCAT. I just had urinary frequency for about a month leading up to the test. So I had some first-hand experience there. But so when we get, so the kidneys, sitting right on top of that are your adrenal glands. And this is a really interesting way of looking at how functional medicine and Ayurveda are very similar in a lot of ways, bridging the old ancient knowledge of 4,000 plus years ago with what's being practiced as kind of the frontier of medicine in America and around the world today. So when I'm working with a patient on stress and anxiety management, of course, we're working on gut health and boosting up probiotic function and the health of those cells. But another key piece is working with the adrenal gland and working in all the ways I know through Ayurveda to decrease vata in the body. And so interestingly, one of the herbs that I love, and actually a patient nicknamed me Dr. Ashwagandha because I used it with him and he had really great results, is ashwagandha. And so I really like this formulation by Gaia because it's a standardized extract. So that means it's not just the powdered herb, but it's the extract of the herb extracted into alcohol. So I find it to be a lot more potent than, say, a powdered pill, like a powdered herb put into a pill. So I usually advise patients taking ashwagandha because it has that beautiful effect of being an adrenal support and adaptogen, but then it's also a really key herb for helping decrease vata in the body. So there's always herbal management such as that, and I would say that's one of my go-tos. But then, of course, all the other things that we know from a lifestyle perspective to really decrease vata in the body. And again, if you're not familiar with the term vata, it's an Ayurvedic term that refers to air and space element. So everything in Ayurveda is about the elements on the outside in our external environment being reflected on the inside in our internal environment, and how we as bodies communing with the outside world are influenced by what's going on in our external environment and can use that knowledge to oppose an aggravation with an opposing element. So, for example, if there's a lot of air and space in the world around you, or you're experiencing a lot of air and space in your body, vata, then you balance it with its opposite, which is something that is more predominant earth element or water element, because those are heavier. And so in managing vata, then we usually recommend foods that are heavier, such as heavier in the earth and water element, such as foods with a sweet effect on the body. Those could be things like root vegetables, grains, seeds, nuts, protein. All of that, it has a denser quality to it, so it helps balance the air and space in the world around you and in your body. And so looking at kind of the key vata decreasing therapies, such as working with food, working with lifestyle to have grounding in your day-to-day routines, meal times on routines, wake and sleep time per routine. So those are some of the key things. Using oils on the body, such as the daily self-oil massage, Abhyanga, which I love and do nightly, is another great way to balance vata. So we have some herbal support, we have lifestyle support through food and day-to-day activities, but then let's not also forget the mental aspect of grounding, being more in tune with the present moment. And I know that can begin to sound a little cliche after hearing it in so many different yoga classes and textbooks, and maybe not textbooks, but literature that you encounter. But it's just so true. When we think about anxiety or stress, it's really taking us out of the present moment. We're worrying about something that either happened or something that's to come. And really, we have no control over any of that, but we do control exactly how we feel in this current moment. So just remembering to maybe touch your body and be present here and now, and take your mind out of the loop that it can tend to cycle in. So that's kind of a lifestyle sort of recommendation of how to be in the day-to-day and the moment-to-moment. But herbs and all the other lifestyle vata grounding measures that I mentioned will help you get there, so that you can be more present and ultimately live a much more joyful, fulfilling life that is rid of stress, rid of anxiety, but then also rid of disease, because again, vata is the driver of disease, the majority of disease. So